Hello, English learners. Welcome back to Softly Spoken English. I'm Sophia, and I'm very happy to have you here with me today. Find a comfortable place, take a slow breath, and let's enjoy a little English together. Today, we're exploring 4 words you probably hear all the time: say, tell, speak, and talk. They may seem very similar, but we use them in different ways. We'll notice those differences naturally through simple conversations and familiar situations. Imagine you're having coffee with a friend. She smiles and says, "I have something exciting to tell you." A moment later, you ask, "What did you say?" In this short conversation, we hear both tell and say. They are connected, but they focus on different things. Say draws our attention to the words or message. Tell usually includes the person receiving that message. You say something, but you tell someone something. Notice that small and useful difference. Let's stay in that cafe for a moment. Your friend says, "I got a new job." Later, someone asks you what happened, and you answer, "She said that she got a new job." Here, the important part is the message. We're interested in what she said, so we don't need to mention the listener. You can also say, "He said he was tired," or "She said something surprising." Notice how say naturally introduces the words, thoughts, or information shared by someone. Now imagine your friend looks at you and says, "Please don't tell anyone yet." Tell feels natural here because another person receives the information. She can tell you the news, tell her family, or tell someone a secret. We often hear phrases like, "Tell me the truth," "Tell him what happened," and "Can you tell us more?" The listener is usually mentioned. When you hear tell, quietly ask yourself, who is receiving the information? That question can help you choose naturally. Now let's imagine a different moment. You're at home and your phone rings. It's your sister, and she has a funny story about her day. After the call, someone asks, "What did she say?" You might answer, "She said the bus left without her." But if they ask, "What did she tell you?" you could say, "She told me what happened on her way to work." Both questions are natural. Say focuses more on her words, while tell connects the information to you, the listener. There's one detail that often causes confusion. We say, "She said to me," but we say, "She told me." Listen to the difference. He said to me that he was busy. He told me that he was busy. They communicate the same basic idea, but told me usually sounds smoother in everyday conversation. We don't say "he told to me," and we don't say "he said me." Try hearing these as complete little patterns, said to me and told me. That makes them easier to remember. Say and tell also appear in familiar expressions that are useful to learn as complete phrases. We say hello, say sorry, and say something. But we say tell the truth, tell a story, and tell a joke. Imagine arriving late to dinner. You might say, "I'm sorry," and then tell your friends what happened. Perhaps you tell them a funny story about missing the bus. Little combinations like these appear naturally again and again in everyday English. Before we move on, let's try a quick conversation together. Imagine I ask, "What did your friend say?" You could answer, "She said she was coming later." Now I ask, "What did she tell you?" You might answer, "She told me about her new job." Can you feel the difference? In the first answer, we focus on the message. In the second, we notice that she shared information with you. You don't need to think too hard. With practice, these patterns begin to feel familiar. Now let's bring in speak and talk. Imagine you're at a small gathering and someone asks, "Do you speak English?" Here, speak refers to your ability to use a language. You can speak English, speak Portuguese, or speak a little Italian. We also use speak when the moment feels slightly more formal. At work, someone might say, "Could I speak to the manager?" The conversation may be friendly, but the word speak gives it a more polite or professional feeling. Talk often feels more relaxed and conversational. Imagine you meet a friend after work. You sit down together, order something to drink, and talk about your day. You might talk about work, talk about your family, or talk about your plans for the weekend. Talk creates the feeling of an exchange, with people sharing thoughts and responding to each other. That's why "can we talk" can sound personal. It suggests that someone wants to have a real conversation with you. Let's compare two invitations. "Can I speak to you?" and "Can I talk to you?" Both are correct, but they can feel a little different. "Can I speak to you" may sound more formal, serious, or professional. You might hear it in an office or during a phone call. "Can I talk to you" often feels more personal and relaxed. A friend, partner, or family member might use it. The difference is not always strong, but noticing the feeling behind each word can help you sound more natural. Imagine your phone rings while you're busy. You answer and say, "Hello, this is Sophia speaking." The caller asks, "May I speak to Anna?" This is a common phone pattern, especially in professional situations. Later, you call a close friend and say, "Do you have a minute to talk?" That sounds warmer and more casual. Speak often appears when we identify a person or request contact. Talk often appears when we imagine the conversation itself and the connection between people. Now imagine you're at a dinner with people you've just met. At first, everyone speaks politely about work and the weather. After a while, the atmosphere becomes more relaxed, and you begin talking about music, travel, and funny memories. Both words fit the evening, but they create different feelings. Speak can describe the act of using your voice or expressing yourself. Talk often brings attention to the conversation, the subject, and the exchange between people. We often use talk with about. You can talk about a film, talk about your weekend, or talk about something that has been worrying you. Imagine a friend notices that you seem quiet and asks, "Do you want to talk about it?" That small question feels warm and supportive. It doesn't simply ask you to produce words. It offers you space to share your feelings. This is one reason talk sounds so natural when we imagine an open, personal conversation between people. There are also moments when speak and talk can both sound completely natural. You can speak to your neighbor or talk to your neighbor. You can speak with a colleague or talk with a colleague. The choice often depends on the feeling you want to create. Speak may sound slightly more formal or focused. Talk may sound friendlier and more relaxed. Native speakers don't always stop to analyze this difference. They simply choose the word that feels right for the moment. Let's put all four words into one familiar situation. Imagine you arrive home after a long day, and your partner asks, "How was work?" You say, "My manager spoke to us this morning." Then you add, "She told us about a new project and said it would begin next month." Later, you talk about how everyone reacted. In just a few sentences, each word has its own place. Spoke introduces the interaction, told includes the listeners, said shares the message, and talk describes the conversation. Now it's your turn to notice what sounds natural. Imagine your friend has some exciting news. Would you ask, "What did she say?" or "What did she tell you?" Both questions work, but they invite slightly different answers. The first asks about her message. The second asks what information she shared with you. Perhaps she said, "I'm moving to Sydney," and then told you all about her new home. Listen to the complete patterns, and let their rhythm become familiar. Here's another small challenge. Imagine someone is speaking too quickly during a meeting. You might say, "Could you speak more slowly, please?" After the meeting, a colleague asks, "Can we talk about the final idea?" Then you sit together and discuss it. Speak describes how the person was using their voice, while talk invites a conversation about a subject. These little situations help the difference feel real because you connect each word to a moment instead of memorizing a rule. You may still choose the wrong word sometimes, and that's completely normal. Someone will usually understand you if you say, "She said me," instead of "she told me." The important thing is to keep listening and noticing. When you hear a useful phrase, repeat the whole phrase quietly. Tell me the truth, say something nice, speak more slowly, or talk about your day. Learning the words together in small patterns will help them come to you more naturally when you need them. Honestly, these 4 words can feel confusing at first. You may pause and wonder, should I say speak or talk? Oh, I know that feeling. But here's the lovely part. Every real conversation gives you another chance to notice them. Perhaps tonight, someone will tell you a story. Maybe tomorrow you'll talk to a friend about your plans. English is already happening around you. You're not just studying these words. Little by little, you're making them part of your life. Now think about your own day. Who did you talk to this morning? Did anyone tell you something interesting? Perhaps someone said something that made you smile, or you spoke to a person you had never met before. Take a moment and answer those questions quietly in English. Your sentences don't need to be perfect. Just let them come. This is how the language becomes personal. You connect new patterns to your own conversations, memories, and little moments. Let's pause for a moment and gently bring these ideas together. We say words or a message. We tell someone information, a story, or the truth. We speak a language or focus on the voice and the way words are expressed. And we talk when we share ideas, feelings, and moments with other people. But these words have even more little details hidden inside everyday conversations. So let's keep exploring them through a few new situations and see how they naturally come to life. Here's a phrase you may hear when someone is surprised. "You don't say." It doesn't always mean the person wants you to stop speaking. In fact, it often means, "Really?" or "That's surprising." Imagine telling a friend, "I met my favorite actor at the airport." She might smile and reply, "You don't say." I love little expressions like this because the individual words seem simple, but together they carry a completely different feeling. English can be playful that way. Tell also has some lovely everyday combinations. We can tell the difference, tell the time, and tell when something has changed. Imagine your friend has had a haircut, but the change is very small. She asks, "Can you tell the difference?" You look carefully and say, "Yes, I can." Here, tell doesn't mean giving someone information. It means noticing or recognizing something. That may feel unexpected at first, but you'll hear this use quite often in natural conversations. Now think about the expression "speaking of." We use it when something in the conversation reminds us of another subject. Your friend says, "I'm planning a trip to Melbourne." You might reply, "Speaking of Melbourne, did you hear that Anna moved there?" It's such a useful way to change direction without sounding sudden. And honestly, real conversations do this all the time. We begin with travel, move to a friend, and somehow end up talking about food. Talk appears in several natural expressions too. If two people discuss a problem carefully, they can talk it through. If someone speaks proudly about an idea but never acts, we might say, "It's all talk." And when a friend says something encouraging, you can reply, "That's the kind of talk I like." These expressions give talk more personality. You don't need to memorize them all today. Just notice how one familiar word can create many different shades of meaning. Have you ever heard someone say, "Actions speak louder than words"? I really like this expression. It means that what we do can reveal more than what we promise or say. Imagine a friend who always says, "I'm here for you," but disappears whenever you need help. The words sound lovely, but the actions tell a different story. Notice how speak works here without a person actually speaking. The actions themselves communicate something clearly to us. Here's another useful phrase. Tell me about it. Sometimes it means exactly what it says. You may genuinely want someone to explain more, but it can also mean, "I completely understand because I feel the same way." Imagine your friend says, "This week has been exhausting." You sigh and reply, "Tell me about it." You're not asking for the full story. You're warmly agreeing. Your voice and expression help the listener understand which meaning you intend. Let's try a small listening challenge. I'll give you a situation, and you choose the word that feels most natural. Your colleague shares some news directly with you. Did she say you the news or tell you the news? She told you the news. Now your friend wants to discuss the weekend. Do you speak about your plans or talk about your plans? Talk sounds more relaxed here. Did you get both? Lovely. And if not, that's okay. We're letting these patterns settle in slowly. Let's make this even more personal. Imagine you're meeting someone new and they ask, "What languages do you speak?" You answer, "I speak Portuguese and I'm learning English." Then the conversation continues, and you begin talking about travel, food, and places you'd love to visit. Isn't it interesting? You speak a language, but you talk about the things that matter to you. One word describes your ability, while the other opens the door to connection. Now imagine a friend looks worried and says, "I have something to tell you." You listen, and after she explains, you say, "I'm glad you told me." That response feels caring because "told me" recognizes that she chose to share something with you. If her words surprised you, you might later say, "She said something I wasn't expecting." The same moment can include both words, but each one lets us look at the conversation from a slightly different angle. Here's a common situation that can feel a little awkward. You're on a video call, but your microphone isn't working properly. Someone says, "We can't hear you. Could you speak up?" Oh, we've all had moments like that. Speak up means to use a louder voice, but it can also mean to express your opinion bravely. If something feels unfair, a friend may encourage you to speak up. The expression moves from using your voice to making sure your voice is heard. Let's play with the 4 words one more time. Complete these ideas quietly with me. I want to, you a funny story. Tell, she was running late. Said, could you, a little more slowly? Speak, we need to talk about our plans. Talk, how did that feel? Perhaps the answers came quickly, or perhaps you needed a moment. Either way, you're beginning to hear the natural rhythm of these words, and that matters much more than answering perfectly. As we come to the end of our time together, think about how much these 4 small words can do. You can say something kind, tell someone a story, speak with confidence, and talk about the things you care about. They are not simply words to study. They help you share ideas, ask for support, express yourself, and connect with people. And really, that is what language is for. Creating little bridges between you and someone else, one honest conversation at a time. This week, try listening for say, tell, speak, and talk in the conversations around you. You may hear them in a film, a podcast, at work, or while chatting with a friend. When one appears, notice the complete phrase around it. Was it tell me, say something, speak slowly, or talk about it? You don't need to write everything down. Just pause for a second and think, oh, there it is. That small moment of recognition is already real and meaningful progress. And perhaps you can create one sentence of your own before you leave. Tell me something interesting about your week. Say a phrase that always makes you smile. Think of a language you would love to speak or someone you enjoy talking to. Which sentence came to your mind first? Keep it with you today. The more your English connects with your real thoughts and feelings, the more naturally those words begin to belong to you and become part of your voice. Thank you for spending this time with me today. I hope these 4 words now feel a little clearer, warmer, and easier to use. Be patient with yourself, keep listening, and let your confidence grow one conversation at a time. If you enjoyed our time together, I'd love to have you join me again in the next episode. Until then, take good care of yourself, keep noticing the English around you, and I'll talk to you again very soon. I'm already looking forward to it.